Hello friends! Welcome back to Stories and Stitches. I'm Jada. I thought I would continue with the beading today. Really digging the beaded applique thing. I started this for the first time 2 days ago. I made a beaded mushroom applique, so that was my first attempt at beaded applique period. Yesterday, Valentine's Day, so I made a little heart. And I really like the way this one turned out too. I'm trying to sort of hold it so you can see the beadwork and not so much the background. So that's my first two. I'm just using up junk I have in the stash. So whatever beads I have, whatever felt I have, and I've been sort of starting to make a little list of things that I wanted to try to turn into beaded applique. And I'm also trying to up the challenge factor for myself every single time. So I felt like this was a simple shape to start with. It was. I like how it turned out. This was believe it or not, a slightly more tricky shape because there's a point at the bottom and a kind of a point in the middle. Today I'm going to try a strawberry. So I'm going to be moving into overlapping shapes. So I want to draw a strawberry that has the greenery, because like sort of like to look a little bit three-dimensional. I'm going to draw it first. Then I'm going to stitch it like I did with the mushroom. Then I'm going to cut it out. We'll just see where it goes. I'm not sure. So cup of tea in hand, friends at the ready. And let's give ourselves a little visit to the craft table. And I've got everything I need set up here. I'm going to use this lighter pink felt today. So all I'm going to do is cut myself out. Again, I'm going to go for something about the size of the heart and the mushroom, nothing too big. So maybe I'll start down here. Just cut myself a rectangle, and then I'm going to draw a strawberry onto that. And that feels like a nice size. So that's all I need of that. And I'm going to draw. So I'm going to sort of sketch with a marker here. So this will be like my bottom point, and I'm going to have that be kind of rounded. I want to leave room for, so you know what, I'm just going to dot this. It's kind of like a heart shape. But I want to have like some greenery. Maybe like it kind of sits up the top a little bit. And then this is the rest of the strawberry. Maybe you'll have that lift just a little bit. I want that to be I want the greenery at the top to be a little on the three-dimensional side. So, very rough sketch. I'll just hold that up so you can see it a little bit better. Oop, there we go. Still fiddling with camera angles. So, I'm mushroom, a heart, and so a strawberry. Oh, I'm glad you guys have got something to do. This is great. Strawberries are a heart with a hairdo. Yes! Strawberries are a heart with a hairdo. I like that. That's exactly what they are. Okay, the greenery, I think I might actually start with the greenery because I think filling in, like I want to do the frame, actually. Maybe I will do the frame of the red first, and then I will do the greenery. Hi, Pen. Hi, sweetie. You want to come up and say hello? Okay, hang on. Let's have a quick visit with the wee Pen. So, hang on one second. I have to set back my chair. Okay, come here, you. Come here. Good girl. All right, up we go. Here we go. You want to say hello? Yes? You want to look in the mirror? Look at the camera. No, I know you want to look at me. She hasn't had a whole lot of mommy time today. I've been very busy cooking and shoveling. A lot of snow out there. Can you look at the camera? Over here. There you go. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. No? No? Okay. All right. Okay, okay, okay. Little squirmy wormy. Squirmy wormy. Watch your little toes. Watch your little toes. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. All right. So I've got, off she goes. I've got a couple of needles ready to go. I think the one I used yesterday was the small one. I think it will probably fit through all of the beads that I've got. So what was I saying? I'm going to start with the outline around the strawberry. So I'm going to use these never-ending big round red beads, these plastic round red beads. I use them on the mushroom. I use them on the heart. I'm going to just keep using them until I've used them up, because the heart is sort of the bigger thing. And then I'm going to do a separate frame of the greenery. So here we go. I think I'll start about here, a little bit of ways away from the edge, because this is kind of a larger bead. And do I do two? Do I do two? Yeah, I can do two. I can get away with two. All right. And I'm going to continue to do that handy little backstitch technique where I kind of go back and run my needle through the last bead that I put down. And here we go. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chitter chat. I think Penny's going to be in and out. You can hear her little tappy tappities. It's such a sweet little sound. I always know where she is. It's like having a bell on a cat. Okay. Thanks, Shell. Yeah, we're experimenting. I like being able to talk to everybody and actually, you know, sort of kind of virtually look you in the face. But I also I just know that I love to watch, like I love slow TV. I love watching something just kind of come together, and it's nice. It's nice to be I kind of feel like I want to feel like I'm sitting with some friends, and most of the time we're kind of focused on what's in our laps, and every once in a while we look up from what we're doing and say a little something, have a sip of tea, you know, very civilized. So I'm going to start with the border, the frame, and then I will do the frame in the greenery. Oh, and that's another thing. I've got two different options for, you know how strawberries have seeds. I've got yellowy gold ones and I've got white ones. I've also got kind of white clear. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm kind of leaning towards the yellow, but I want to see how it looks. I'm going to get the frame on the strawberry. I'm going to frame in the greenery. Then I'll see how the yellow looks, because I want to do yellow. That's kind of the thing that, like, the instinct says yellow, but I don't know, white. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, here we go. I think I can get, I want to be able to tie a knot. So you know what? I'm going to call that right there, and I'm going to knot it on the back. I don't want to run out of thread to make a nice, good, to make a decent knot with, because I don't want this to come undone. So good thing I called it right there, because that is just about There we go. So that's a little bit of garbage. Now I had some threads. Talk about scrap busting. I'm even hanging on to like little tiny threads that I didn't quite finish with the last time. I'm like, well, why not? I'm not gonna toss away a perfectly good bit of thread. It's small, but that's okay. I don't care what the back of this looks like, because if it's sewn down on something, you'd never see the back of it again. Okay. And same thing, I'm going to come through that last bead. There we go. Isn't the sound of beads rustling in a little plastic container so lovely? All right, this is the bottom point. It's kind of rounded, so I'm going to see if I can do two. Yeah. And that might be it. I should probably stop and make another knot. So, used up another small bit of thread there. There we go. I have a wee vent, says Shell. Volunteered to assist another blanketeer by putting together granny squares into a blanket for her. She brought over 50 squares. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Did she say it was that many before? before? That's practically a job. I think I would have asked two. But you know, to be fair, I think if somebody says, "Oh, you know, I could really use some help stitching together some granny squares," I think in our brains we're all thinking, well, I mean, what is it, like 40 tops? You know, 30? Like you probably have half the blanket done already, so you know. Is that just like, I would assume somebody had half a blanket done before they. How big are the squares? Are they huge? 100 squares. Oh my gosh. I think you've been had, Shell. I agree with Jessica Rabbit. I think you might want to start negotiations. The rest were all colored and all kinds of different 4-weight yarns. The worst is none of her ends were done. Oh, come on. She's basically asking you to do the hardest parts of a blanket. Well, maybe not the hardest parts, but the most annoying parts. Really. I had somebody ask me once to do that, wanted me to help her finish off a blanket or something something her mother had started, and it was just this impossibly massive job, and she offered me as compensation a half finished lace ladies sort of wrist purse made out of crochet thread, half finished. Almost like me getting to finish it would be the most delicious reward for helping her figure out what the pattern was and finish this blanket that had been her mother's. I very politely declined. I might be able to get 2 in here. I thought I could get 2. I don't know. Yeah, I can make 2. Okay. So, I think for the greenery, I want to switch to, I'm going to use white thread. I have green thread, but it's kind of on the thick side, and this is this nice sort of thin sewing thread, so I think I'm just going to switch to white to do the green, and I will, I'm going to outline it with these. So let me see here. I think this pulls off. Yes. So I'm going to outline with those, and I think I can use a bigger needle, slightly larger needle head. So I'm going to switch to this one. Yes. So I'm going to leave the red yarn or thread where it is on the needle, and then I'm going to get another needle going. I want to do the outline framing of this greenery and get that kind of done. I feel like that will help me, it'll help dictate sort of the direction that this goes. Shell says, I honestly felt a little duped. And then guilty. Oh, you shouldn't feel guilty, but it's a put together now. It's all done. Oh, wow. And I'm at the stage where I have to deal with all the ends I created crocheting it together. Oh, man. Well, you know, they say, you live, you learn. Next time, you might ask, how many are we talking here? You know, like how big is this blanket? How much needs to be done still? You know, like you're a little better armed now to sort of know what questions to ask next time. Okay, here's the tricky part. I want to try and I don't want to catch my other thread. So I'm going to try and keep that one to the end, or out of the way. And now I'm going to do the frame of the greenery. Let's see here. I think I might be able to do 3 beads at a time. These aren't super large. And same thing, I'm going to do this. Okay, 1 or 2? Let's find out. 1? Yeah. Oops, don't you go anywhere. These are nice. These are kind of a soft, these feel like sea glass. No idea where these ones came from. Once again, this is all just stuff from my crafting stash. And I think I've got a bit of a point here. You know, if you did a really terrible job, Shell, she wouldn't ask again. Not that I'm suggesting you do that, but... One, two, three. Hi, you. Hi, sweetie. Hi. I can't put you on my lap, honey. I've got too many beads up here. But why? Hi. Hi, gorgeous. Hello. Hi. Hi. Oh, did you bring your shoe? No, you didn't. Hi. Do you want to just sit at my feet? I can't put you on my lap, sweetie. Sorry. Hey, babes. Hi. Hi. Hi, hi. You're so cute. You're so hard to resist. She's like, well, then don't resist. Pick me up and snuggle me. Fine, I'll go run over here. A heart with a hairdo. I like that. Mr. Stitches is just turning the blanket into a distorted Snuggie. Of course, if she does that, she might start an entire new, like, trend. All right. I think I can only get 2 in there. Or, no, I can do 3. It's just going past. I really don't want there to be a hole there. Maybe I'll do 2. We'll do 2 across the top of that bead. Yeah. This is definitely not a fine science by any stretch. I just want these beads to... Now I can tighten some of them up later. Well, I hope it does get to its final destination and that all of your work was worth it, Shell. That's, like you say, that's the most important thing. I know this can look a little funny at first, so. My grandfather used to say, "You'll get your reward in heaven." I hope he wasn't kidding. I hope not too. Gee, these feel nice. Go to the edge. Yep. Just past the edge. Okay. Oh, the beaded shawl pins sound pretty. I'd love to see those. Honestly, so do the bracelets and everything else. I have to say, I absolutely love the fine motor skill stuff. But yes, the older I get, and the more the odd little bit of issue creep sets in. It does, like I found yesterday, I was dropping, I just don't want to catch this. I was dropping the needle a lot, or I didn't have like the best control over the needle yesterday. I don't know if that was just because I was a little tired or what, but I felt like I had more control over the needle and the beads on the day before, so who knows. I do like the idea of some beaded shawl pins. Maybe I should try some of those. Oh, did I go where? Yeah, I did. It's kind of, but not quite, a star shape at the top of the strawberry. I think I needed to put a single bead down there. All right, let's see if I can reverse this. And I can, woohoo! All right, I need to do a single bead down at the bottom. There we go. Yeah, this is definitely a much more complicated, or I should say challenging, shape to try and bead up than the last two, because I'm adding more and more like kind of little pointy lines, or lines that come to a point. Still not, I mean, that's good. I think the whole point of learning something new is to try and increase your challenge level as soon as you feel able. Like, I think, you know, if you're like, you know what, I just want to stay at this level because I don't want to have to think about it, and beating or whatever is just supposed to be fun, then great. But I feel like the second the second I do something and I see a little bit of what I consider to be success, I immediately want to start upping the challenge. I want to try something a little bit more difficult, a little bit more difficult. Thanks, Shell. I'll pause as soon as I get this last set of green beads stitched down. I'll pause and I'll give you a close-up of how it's looking. Do I really need two there? I might only need two there. Just so you can sort of see what I'm up to. Yeah, and then I'm going to make that green at the bottom. Okay. This is giving Stardew Valley vibes, and I am so here for that. And knot this on the back. Do that 3 times just to make sure. There we go. Okay, I don't think I need you for now, so I'm going to put you back in here. Okay, let's just pop over to the forward-facing cam, and you can sort of see how that's going. So you can clearly see the outline. I did the outline of the strawberry, and then I did sort of the outline of the greenery up top, and framed in the outline, I guess. So I've beaded in the outline. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do what I've done with the previous two. So for example, like with this one, I filled in the center and I used all kinds of different shaped or different sized beads, but also I kind of messed with the colors a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing. So and I think that provides a kind of depth. So for the green topper, I'm going to do the same thing. I've got 3 different kinds of green beads here. They're slightly different sizes and they're 3 different shades. They're all kind of a yellowy green. So I think that'll fill in the greenery nicely. And I'm going to do the same thing in the bottom of the strawberry, the heart that's wearing the haircut. So I'm going to switch to filling in the strawberry. Oh, I have to decide if I'm going to use yellow or white for the seeds. Yellow or white for the seeds. I'm really leaning towards gold. I feel like that will look better. And you know what? Because the green is kind of a yellowy green, I think the golden, I'm going with the gold. Gold it is. Gold it is. Let's go with the gold. Okay. So I think like when I did the mushroom and I added the the little polka dots first, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put in the handful of yellow beads. So I guess I do need my other little, so I'm not switching back. So I'm going to add more white thread. Yeah, you like the yellow ones too, eh, Ms. Rabbit? I think so. I think it fits. I think it's the right color. I think it's the right feel. I think they're the right size. And they're consistent, so I'm going to just randomly dot them around on the inside of the strawberry, and then I will fill in the rest of the strawberry. So here we go. I'm going to do an odd number, like maybe 9 or so. Let's just start and see what happens. So there's 1. There we go. I'll put one over here. And one over here. Maybe too far. Maybe not. I'll put one down here. So that's 7. I think I need another one up there. Maybe I will do one over here, right at the edge. Yeah, this is starting to say strawberry. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And I will knot that off. I'll give you another close-up here in a second. It's so funny how a little detail can completely change the way something looks and how it's starting to shape up. Amazing. Needle away. That's it for those. Yeah, that's starting to look like a strawberry. So those little yellow beads, maybe look a little bright, but those little yellow beads, definitely yellow is the right choice. Ignore the pinky white background because that's going to get filled in with all those pretty different sized red beads in a moment. And then that will really show off the yellow beads, I feel. Yes, yes, hope, hope. Okay. Can you show the mushroom and the heart on the table so we can compare the cuteness, says Mr. InStitches. All right, Mr. InStitches. Yes, I can. So, mushroom, heart, strawberry in the middle. Gives me a chance to have a quick sip of my tea. I think the yellow absolutely suits it. How cute is this little trio shaping up? A mushroom, a heart, and a strawberry. What? Yes, 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 yes. All right. So I'm going to get my red beads ready. Got all of those in there. And I think I'm going to open these ones too. These are pretty small, but does this kind of pop off or does it screw off? I don't know. I think it's a pop off. Yep, there we go. Okay. And these little red guys. So I'm definitely using these up. Okay, here we go. Reaches through monitor and runs away with the cuteness. Wouldn't it be fun if we could do that? That would be so great. All right, so now I'm going to start doing what I did yesterday. I'm going to start trying to sort of use all these tiny little different sized beads, different colors. These are nice and tiny. I should be able to get a whole bunch of these tucked in. Having the super small, I'm going to have to put a couple more up there. So this is going to make me think differently about how I'm doing all this. Did that? Oh no, that's good. Okay, I can come back. Actually, you know, I can fill that in up there too. I've got tiny little spaces that need to be filled in here and there. It's so nice to not worry about the back. The back's going to be messy and it just doesn't matter. And it's such a freeing feeling. So much crafting is like every little detail counts. Every little thing you got to think about. Oh, how's it going to look on the back? How's it going to look on the front? But with these, it just doesn't matter. Every little you're only concerned with the front. That's like cross stitch or embroidery of some kind. You're just worried about the front. It is such a nice change. So that might be too small, but I've got these cute little ones. Let's use some of these. That's nice and thin. I'll use this little guy, and then that should be able to take me into this. All the tiny beads make great tiny place fillers. And they also kind of help shove around the other beads. Like if you've got beads that kind of, like I still have a little space over here, or do I? I can come back and do that later. All right, let's poke our nose out over here. I'm going to start with one of these little tinies, and then I'll move to one of these, also small, and then another nice dark red one. It's like a pomegranate seed. Oh, so nice. every part of this is fun so far for me. The drawing of it, the like the coming up with the idea. Okay, I want to do this. Then sitting down and drawing it. Basic. Then framing out the outline. Then filling in all of the little details in the filler. It is just so much fun. I think I can even get one of these in there. Tiny little spot. There we go. Yoink. Okay. That one will fit in there. And we're going to do a couple of little ones. Oops. I think I'm also trying to kind of follow a natural, like there's no real, when I did the heart, I just followed there was no internal detail to do. So I just kept following the inside edge of the frame that was already laid down. I just kind of kept doing it over and over again. But because I've got these little seeds, I've kind of got to work around them, which sort of dictates where I put the needle and sort of how big the beads are going to be. No, you don't. And then as you fill in the beads, it starts to get heavier and heavier. It has such a nice feeling. All right. Maybe I'll start with a slightly smaller one there too. Oh, Portal Night's on sale? I recommend. I absolutely recommend. You just got the game and the DLC for $11.52. That's amazing. Oh, and you both got it. That's fantastic. Oh, I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It is sweet and fun. And you know, it's one of those games where you can kind of decide what you want to do. You can go out exploring. You could just hang out and build. Mr. InStitches and I are big fans of that. Do you know there's this channel, Stories and Stitches, not super active video one? No, I don't know. We've had this channel for quite a while. We just kind of in and out with it. Hope to do more with it. And it's very windy at Ms. Rabbit's. Well, that's not always great. What are these? We just had a tremendous amount of snow today. No wind, just snow. The channel says joined January 13th, 2015. Is that us or the other one? I don't remember when we started this one. Yeah, it does sound about right. I'm going to pause and show you how this is filling in. How's the lighting, everyone? Sorry, your channel. Oh, okay, yeah, I thought that sounded about right, yeah. How's the lighting? I'm just going to pause and I'm going to show you how that's filling in. So, filling in around the yellow beads, and I'm trying to use as many different shaped, like sized ones, and the range of reds that I have. This is just the reds I have in the collection. I didn't realize I had so many red beads, but that's great because I want to do mushrooms and hearts and strawberries, and they all need red. I think that's looking nice and solid. So I'm going to continue to fill in all the red, and then I'll move on to the green. Loving this. And lighting still looks good. Okay, thank you so much. I will keep with the lighting as it is. And let's do another one of these. And we'll do one of these. there. And I think I might need to knock this one off soon. Yes, I think I will. Let's not push it. Okay. So thumbs up from everybody. Okay, good. We will continue with the red. All right, I'm going to start up here and I'm going to come down again. And I'm going to start with one of those little tiny ones. Husband is already checking it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's pretty chill. I mean, it can be as busy as or as chill as you want it to be. That's why I like it. I also like the I don't know. I just liked all of the little aspects of it. I don't know if they've been updating it. I imagine they have, but it's been quite a while since we played, so there's probably even new stuff in it. I heard you say DLC, so I'm not sure we have any of the DLC. Might have to rectify that, especially if it's on sale. It has been a while since they have added anything new. 3 DLC is free. 3 of the DLC is free. Words are not easy today. 3 of the free. Okay, that's. We're gonna have to check it out. I definitely have to get back into that. It's like an older game too. 2017, 2018, maybe somewhere around there. Does that sound right? $2017. Aha! Thank you. My brain is not completely broken yet. Cheating here, and I'm doing 4 at a time, but I think because 2 of them are pretty small, it's okay. There we go. Excuse me. So the DLC would only be, if you take the game price off when you choose bundle, it will remove anything that you already own. It will be $8.53 US. That's really not bad. There's a lot of game in that. That's for all the DLC. Man. Well, that sounds like a great deal. It's also nice to know that they've been sort of keeping the game going. one's too small. Okay. Now I'm just sort of nitpicking. I'm putting in filling in all sorts of little tiny spaces. I could probably go back and do that at the end too, but it's probably just as good to, if you see a space, sort of fill it as you go. They sort of jostle around a little bit. guys, we've got a storm moving in down there. Well, I hope there's very little, if no lightning, and it doesn't last very long. I also hope you don't lose your electricity. Especially since you just got a new game. Time to knot off and do another strand. I will also take the opportunity to give you a close-up so you can see the progress. Let's get this threaded up first. Go. So let's show you how that looks so far. So I'm filling it in. We've got, I really like all those different reds. The difference, having the different sized beads helps fill in all those little tiny holes that kind of want to appear in between the bigger beads, especially since, you know, you've got sort of different angles and whatnot. I really like how that's coming together. So a little bit more red, and then I'm going to move to the green, and then we'll see how long this takes me. Here we go. I'll get my thread firmly attached. That's too big for that spot. Maybe I need a smaller one there. Let's do that first. There it goes. I should probably be kind of sparing with these. I'm about to run out of them, so let's go back to more of these. Making snacks. Snacks sound like a good idea. And again, snacks always sound like a good idea. I like that sound it makes when it lands on its face. about the only thing that sounds good when it lands on its face. Go this way? Sure. Thanks, Shell. You know what that is? It's it's the tray for 2-bite cupcakes. Real high end here. 2-bite cupcakes. Eat the cake, keep the tray. Seriously, worked out beautifully. And it is, it's the perfect depth. It's got a little bit of extra, like there's the little pocket that you can keep the beads in, and then there's still a little bit of depth on top of that, which is great. Okay, I think I've got room to stick one more little tiny bead in this red spot, and then that's it. And I can move on to the green, which should not take very long at all because there's very little green space, and I don't have a whole bunch of tiny green beads. So I'll knot off that, and I'll pause and give you a close-up of how it's looking. There we go. Needle back in book. And I'll get the white one back out and ready to go. And I wound up with one of these left over. Ha ha ha. Okay. Here we go. So, I think you can still see that pretty well. So that's all of the beadwork around the red strawberry done. Different colored reds, gives it a little bit of depth. Of course, it's got the yellow little seeds. And now I just have to do the green part. So, very pleased. A little trickier than the other two, but I don't know. I'm up for the challenge. I like the challenge. Bead cupcake. Yes, yes, yes. That's going to happen. All right, let's get these greens. That can go, that one's very small, but I'll put it back in there. Then I have these pretty things. Okay, I think you guys can still see all that. Hi, Precious. Did you come for a little bit visit? Just, hi, baby. I'm almost done. I promise you I will snuggle you all night. How's that sound? You sort of sick and tired of snuggling Dad? Hmm? Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Huh? Hi, gorgeous. Yeah. Are these going to go over that bead? No, they're not. Maybe this one will. This one felt a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, another little one. Gotta pick them with slightly bigger holes. How's that one? Yep, that one will work. And then these. Oh yeah. I'm gonna use some of the same sea glass ones that I framed it with. Hi, honey. I'll pick you up in a second here. Hang on, hang on. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Hang on. All right, come here, come here. Over here, over here. Come here. There we go. There we go. Okay, Scoops. There we go, Scoops. Can you say hi to everybody? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. See? See? Say hi. Say hi. Over here. Over here. Aw. There you go. Yeah. See what I'm doing? It's the same stuff I was doing before. It's not very puppy friendly. Yeah? Think it's pretty though? Of course you think it's pretty. You're a smart girl. Yeah. Good girl. Aww. I am almost finished. Can you hang on another like 15 minutes maybe? 15 minutes? Okay, okay, good girl. Good. No, squiggles, no squiggles. There you go. It's like, wait, I wasn't done. I wasn't done. Just, okay, I'm almost finished, Penny. Almost finished. Yeah, almost finished. Okay. It's just so hard. Okay, let's finish off this green bit here at the top. And I think I can get one more into the corner. And a couple of little green ones. Let's see if I can get these. I need the ones with the slightly larger holes. There we go. That one's not big enough. But you. Nope. That one looks like it'll work. Yep. I hate when you can't get a needle through. There's only so, I know, it's so true. I've got a pretty decent sized beading needle, but I'm using 2 needles, so I'm alternating between the 2. And the red one, the one I was using for all the red stitching was much smaller. I should probably go back to that. I would certainly be able to use all of those green beads, but it's okay. the lighting? Is it starting to look a little dark? I can turn on some lights. We might get a little bit of shadowing here, but I'm almost done, so I don't think that's a big deal. I think it's kind of neat that some beads, even though they're all technically the same, some of them have a bigger hole than others. That looks like a good one. There we go. It's a little bit dim, but not terrible. Okay, all right, well, I'll just soldier on here and get it done. And then we'll call it a lovely Sunday evening. Because it has been a lovely Sunday evening. And I have fresh chocolate cake waiting for me. This is almost a little bit like painting too. I better knot this off. I think I've got like 3 beads left. Hang in there, everybody. Okay. I think one more big guy, and that ought to do it. Yep, that did it. Okay. All right, I think I will call it there. I'll show you how this looks. I will trim it up off camera, but I will definitely have a proper photograph later on as the thumbnail. But I'm gonna have to trim it up, and I gotta go get my special scissors for that, so. Just want to make sure I'm all knotted up here. There we go. Okay. Needle goes back in the needle book. Little beads go back in their little bead spot. All these little dialings will be put away later. Okay, don't want to miss any of those. And one last bounce to the main. There you go. All done. I like it. It's again, this is me doing this for the first time. That's my first shot at a strawberry, which is, again, a shape that's a little bit more complicated than a heart, a little bit more complicated than a mushroom. I'm going to trim it down so that it is the proper shape and you don't see any of the extra felt around the edge of it. And that'll be my third. Oh, and I did find, I mentioned it yesterday, but I found in my stash, I had a plain empty photo album. It's just like, it's 2 photos per page, but this is what I'm going to keep my appliques in so that I can, it's sort of it's a stash of appliques, but it's in book form, so I can sort of turn the pages and I can always see what I have, and I don't have them all. Right now, all of the appliques that I have, not the beaded ones, I don't have many beaded ones, but all the appliques I have are just kind of stuffed in like a little container, and I have to spill them all out in order to see what I have, so I don't tend to go through them as often as maybe I would if they were in a book. And I have a book now, so that's going to be the new thing. I'm going to keep them all in this book, and I'll probably just be making beaded appliques that are all about the same size, so no more than like 2 or 3 inches one way or the other, and that way they'll all fit in that little book. And I think that's a good size for an applique anyway, especially beaded ones, because they get kind of heavy with all the beads. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. I hope this was a lovely little bit of time spent with a crafty friend, and we'll see you soon here, hopefully on Stories and Stitches. Until then, stay crafty, stay peaceful, stay calm, have a lovely evening, and we'll see you soon. Ciao for now, my dears.